Smith, and I'm going to talk to you today about Egypt's blueprints. Egypt has been a passion of mine ever since 6th grade because of my teacher, Mr. Kaiser. He studied Egypt pretty much the whole year. I got hieroglyphic stamps because of it, and I taught myself how to read and write them. In high school, I even put it on my ceramics, and it was fun, but my mother didn't like it because she couldn't read it. I want to talk to you today and share with you the first religion, the types of pyramids, and how the speech and hieroglyphics were discovered. First, I'm going to talk to you today about the creation story. Their creation story was not much far from ours, except for theirs start off with the universal body of water. Then the mound comes out of the water. Then the lily forms on top of it. This lily is considered the first life. It is considered the god Nefertum, which means perfect and complete. Nefertum was said to brought the sun out of the lily's petals and shine onto the world. This mound is considered Jetem, which means the emerging land, which is pretty much what he did. It was the first religion that started it. They did have many other ones, but this was the basis behind everything. The mounds were then made into pyramids carved out of one block of stone. This stone was considered benben, which means to swell up or swell forth. Because the sun was part of the creation story, benben became part of the primeval mound that, as well as the sun that rose from it. This rising sun was called Wuben.
Something like that.
This is not the end of life for them, the beginning of another new form of existence. Each human had two elements. The Ba, which was the body and the soul, and the Ka, which was the living force that was within it. The Ka was said to be brought on by the Creator. Death was when the Ba and the Ka got separated, and then after death, they were brought back together, and they were a new life, which was called Akka. Now I'm going to talk to you today about how the pyramids relate to this. The first dynasty, it was tombs. They were made out of mud and brick, and they were rectangular. They were called mastabas. Within the tomb, above their grave, they put the benben above it. In the third dynasty, King Dozier made the first known pyramid. His chief official, Imhotep, pretty much constructed it. It was made out of stone, and this one was made out of square. And they put different layers and layered it, and there was 6 steps. On top of the stone, they put limestone to reflect the sun's light. The fourth dynasty, King Snefu, tried to make the true pyramid. However, it broke, and because the structure wasn't supported by the top part of the pyramid. He also tried it 3 times. The third time he got it right, and he made the red pyramid. This time the structure was sound, the angles were right, and the apex stayed on top where it belonged. In the 5th dynasty, they started adding extra chambers. This became the standard. As you see, this is Giza. These are the pyramids that most people think of. Egyptians built the pyramids, but their chief officials also got smaller pyramids, just like these right here. Because of grave robbers, they wound up having to move their tombs to the Valley of the Kings. There's over 60 tombs at the Valley of the Kings. Now I'm going to discuss the hieroglyphics. The hieroglyphics were written on pretty much everything that you see that was Egyptian. The Rosetta Stone was the reason why they were able to start to figure out what the hieroglyphics said. It was founded by the French soldiers in 1799. The top part was the Egyptian hieroglyphics. The second part was Egyptian demonic. The third part was ancient Greek. It was because of the ancient Greek they were able to even figure anything out somewhat. In autumn of 1822, Jean-Francois Champollion was a very smart young man who knew many different languages, and especially the ancient ones. He figured that the hieroglyphics were not just pictures and sounds. He was able to figure it out by using the Coptic language and their symbols to be able to decipher the hieroglyphics. This is the same alphabet that I learned how I use the hieroglyphics, and that's how I learned it. These are just many different forms of it and how they read it. The Egyptians were very clever and hardworking. They spawned a religion, and out of the creation story, they were able to make structures and burial chambers, and they made a written language that stumped a lot of people up until this day. It was very difficult, and people are still learning how to do it. We are able to understand them better because of Champollion. They were an intelligent race of people, and they believed you never truly die, just like we do. We believe you don't truly die because of Jesus. Thank you so much for letting me speak to you. And these are my references that I used. Thank you and have a good day. Smile. These are my audience who are very patient. Thank you.